Hi everyone, my name is Kirstin Krauss. I'm a research advisor for WIS Academy and facilitator of the research capacity building workshops. Welcome to the WIS Academy YouTube channel where we empower researchers to excel in their research. In today's video, I'm going to talk about how to craft an abstract to a paper or to a thesis. So stay tuned. An abstract to a paper or a thesis is probably the most visible part or section of your paper or of your thesis. And it's therefore important to really make a good impression and to have a good summary of your research in that section. Now, generally speaking, an abstract will consist of 4 sections. First is the study area of discipline. Now, in that section or part, what you want to do is connect your research to the community that you're writing for, or to the discipline that you're writing for. The second section talks to the problem or issue, and so that is really a very short summary of the research question or the problem that you are investigating in your study. The third section talks to the approach. Now, approach is beyond just stating a methodology. It's actually speaking to the broad approach of the paper, starting from connecting your problem to your literature, to the choice of methodology and the findings. It's like a really short overview of your research. And then the fourth section is speaking to the value to the reader and the community. And that is where you need to explain why people need to read this paper or why they need to read this thesis. Now, these 4 sections are guidelines. It can be merged in some cases. It can be in different orders. And obviously, depending on whether you're writing a paper or whether you're writing a thesis, the length of the abstract will also differ. So, like in a paper, you might have between 200 and 500 words. But in a thesis, you might have up to 3 pages to state to craft your abstract. Now, in this example, from Brown and Yayakodi, it's a fairly straightforward example, and it kind of aligns well with the 4 sections that I've indicated. The first line speaks to the study area of discipline. Then there's a short, 3-4 lines on the problem issue. Then there's an overview of the approach, and then the value to the reader and the community is stated. In this example, there's a slight variation in that the purpose and the problem statement is given in the first few lines. Okay, and it's quite extensive. The second part, which is the approach, is also quite extensive, but it's important for this paper because this paper speaks to a methodological contribution. Then the study area of discipline kind of features in the third part, and then a short statement on why somebody should read this paper is given. In this example from the Information Systems Journal, the study area purpose is given as a one-liner, and then there's quite an extensive section that talks to approach. Now, this is an interesting example to show how approach is different from stating a methodology because it actually also talks to how the paper is structured. It talks to 3 headings. And then the last section talks to the value to the reader and the community. So you'll find that the problem or issue is not really highlighted, specifically in this abstract, but if you read it, you will pick it up from these other 3 sections because it's embedded in there. Now, this example is an example of a paper where the requirements are very specific in terms of writing an abstract. Now, in this case, the journal requested a statement on the background, methods, results, and conclusions. Sometimes you have this sort of very strict guidance on how to write the abstract, and in those cases, it might be easier then to craft your abstract. Now, in this final example, which comes from a thesis, you'll see that it's actually 2 pages. The abstract's 2 pages. The entire first paragraph talks to, the study area of discipline, and then it unpacks the issue in like 3 sections, 3 sort of paragraph sentences. Then the second paragraph talks to the philosophical underpinning, which is critical realism. Now, this is important because this thesis is actually has got a very strong methodological contribution. Later on, there's a methodological paragraph. The first paragraph of the second page speaks to the methodological side of things. And then the last two paragraphs talk to the value to the reader and the community. So just to show how different abstracts can differ between a thesis and a paper, and how one can use those four sections or four parts of an abstract to either analyze an abstract or to start crafting your own abstract. Happy abstract writing!